Americana together to the Sunday school. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Ooh.
Is that too bright?
This is good. Thank you. All right.
You're such
Can
a
you
bright
put a
spot.
PowerPoint also for me, please? That would be great. Thank you very much. PowerPoints on. All right. Oh, good. Okay, excellent. Great. Thank you. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for today. Today is a little bit special. Today's Sunday service is going to be a little longer because I would like to have a little bit different formats today. It will be a presentation followed by testimony and followed by discussion, and then we're going to close it and then have a lunchtime. So it'll be a longer time, but people who really, of course, have to go. However, we like to just do this presentation up to 12:30, the maximum. I would like to keep the time properly, move on to one presentation, another session. Reason for me to share this content is because entire United States, our Family Federation, 5 different sub-regions had a simultaneous Sunday service last Sunday. We have an East Coast region, sub-region 1, and Midwest sub-region 2 and 3, and West sub-region 4 and 5 had over maybe 1,500 to 2,000 people participated through the webcam and communicate each other, and maybe close to 2,000 people attended this seminar on Friday and Saturday and part of the Sunday. So what I would like to do is what I have learned and what I heard and what I have learned during that 2-day worth of content, basically condensed into 2 hours, about an hour and a half. So if you can just have to bear with me, I may have to summarize some of the point, cut down some of the point. Some of the people are maybe not familiar with the wording, what I'm just going to talk about. If you can maybe later on, we have an introductory sort of session where you and I can maybe perhaps, and I like to sort of, we have a session that we can perhaps study together. Some of the wording like a true parents. And, oh, by the way, the word true parents, that is another word, the Father, Mrs. Father, and Mrs. Moore, who are the founder of this church. And so I would like to often quoting the word true parents during this presentation, but bear with me. And if you have all these questions you have, please, you can perhaps, I would like to answer that later on, maybe today or other time. Okay, great. So I'd like to start with, first of all, and of course, I like to say a true mother or mother moon, or father moon, which often I like to use the word mother moon and a father moon. American, I guess, representatives, and there were many representatives from around the world got together for this special celebration of God's Day and True Parents' Birthday, and also Foundation Day, about a little over 1 month ago. I'd just like to share your story, which given by, shared by Damien. By the way, before I like to talk about that, we had a few representation from Philadelphia and also throughout the Pennsylvania, Delaware. Minister Chris was with me, and also through the entire conference. And also we have 4 representation from Pittsburgh, and 3, like Dr. Harris, Marion Miller, Anna Mala from Delaware, and also Hans Moy from Central Pennsylvania, and also Jeswyn joined us together towards maybe on Saturday night, join us together. So we have a few representation representing our community, so I just want to let you know. And okay, back to the story. On Friday night, Damien Dunkley, the national president, shared a story about at the end of all the ceremonies, it's all over. They were about to leave in next, maybe within 2 days. Mother Moon asked the American representative delegates to join me at Chonjongdo. where she lives, Chongjung, the palace, the Chongjung, at this Chongpyeong. And they were like, wow, everything's over now, so why we need to go? But anyway, yeah, we'd love to go. They're all dressing up, ready. She invited for evening. Tonight, please join me, tonight. And they are ready to go. And suddenly, because the weather condition was not that great, so suddenly everything had to postpone. But what Mother Moon's plan was that she wanted to invite all the delegates, around 50 people, mostly from the United States and other countries, invite them to the palace, to the Chongjong-gun, and then there she wanted to have more like a sleepover together. Not necessarily nice bed at a hotel like 5-star hotel. Now, everybody was sleeping together in one big hall, whether the sleeping bag, I don't know, I'm not really sure. And then she comes to everyone around 3 o'clock in the morning. She wakes everybody up. And let's go. She wants to take everybody outside to observe the full moon. That was her plan. Why? Reason is because Korean people for the last 2,000 years or even 4,000 years of history, their life was intricately closely related to the moon. Of course, they're following our lunar calendar still today. So, moon is a very important. So, full moon on the New Year's, or this New Year starts right after the lunar calendar New Year, 2019, observing a full moon. That's a tradition for Korean people. Now, she likes to invite everyone outside to observe the full moon. That was her plan, but plan postponed it. So next morning, she invited everybody out there, and where she sits down on the floor with 40 to 50 other people around, and she just simply like to share with everyone. By the way, the people who sit around are mainly all the males. So anyway, she she asked somebody to bring this walnut. Is that a walnut? No. The walnut like this? Is that a walnut? Chestnut. Right.
No.
Right. She asked somebody to bring all the chestnuts for everyone, and then she says, you know what? She began to telling us a story. Because since there's so many males in the room, she said, this is a very good for circulatory system or blood circulation system. Wow, what does that mean? Well, it means that it is a great for elder men especially, or younger men or older men, to help to have a reproductive, the sexual relationship. That's what she says. So she asked everybody to let's eat together. And then she cracked this walnut and have everybody to crack, and everybody's sharing this. She just eats right out of it with everybody. She's talking as if she's sitting on the floor, talking to everyone. It was like a very intimate relationship that everybody had with her, talking, sharing, questioning, all that. It was just like talking to the mom, just like talking to really mother, It's kind of feeling. Anyway, I just want to share with you. But whatever they do, Father and Mother Moon, whenever there needs the representation, let's say represent from the United States, talking to, buying clothing, whatever they do, is because as if they're doing for entire America. That's their practice for entire life. When they suddenly invite you out to a restaurant, when they suddenly invite you to buy this, what can I get you? Here you go. Money or whatever it is that they want to give, just want to give. It is because they're doing it. You are standing as a representation of the entire nation. So that's why she's doing it. I understand that she's sharing, she's doing it for America because she can't do it with everyone, but she can do it to the representative or delegation from the United States or other countries. So let me just going to start talking about. With that, I want to start this Vision 2020 and the foreign settlement of Cheonggyeok. Cheonggyeok, in other words, heavenly kingdom on earth. Cheonggyeok. Heavenly one nation. Chinese character. Cheonggyeok. It means the kingdom of heaven on earth. Okay, so what do you see here? 313 AD. Who is this person?
Constantine.
Exactly, Constantine. Now 313, what happened?
Christianity was made the state religion of
Yes.
the Roman Empire.
All right, okay, so Christianity became the state religion by the Roman Empire, by Constantine. And of course, no more persecution of Christianity after all. Wow. So, what about this, 800 AD? Yeah, exactly, thank you. Somebody who's studying very well, exactly. Charlemagne crowning by the Pope, 800 AD. Wow, just like a stroke of the brush. From one point to another point, everything changed. Christianity has been persecuted bitterly up until the Constantine decided no more persecution. In fact, the Christianity became our national religion. So persecuted bitterly, and from point he said it, the no more persecution, everything changed. Brush of stroke of one person. Charlemagne decided we're going to build the United Christian Kingdom, and everything changes it. Wow, just like that. What about this? 007. 007 CIG. In other words, Chong Yu-guk. 7 years, 7th years of the kingdom of heaven on earth. Wow, I'm sure you wonder what? What does that mean? Chong Yu-guk, 7th years of Chong Yu-guk, 8th American president, and his family members and close cabinet members received the blessing, official blessing, and then that is what we're going to do. God can take that as a condition to restore a one nation America. America is restored because if the president's couple and the cabinet members, perhaps the trickle down to the House of Senate and House of Representatives, all receive the blessings, then with a stroke of brush, everything's going to change. That is a goal. Okay, so Mother, what she did, she divided our country into 5 different regions. I'm talking about within a family federation for world peace. Peace, not the president of the United States divided into 5 regions. Now, it is about our Mother Moon, who are the head of the entire international family federation world peace. Now, she divided America into 5 sub-regions. It is because what? Divided into 5. Actually, allowing each one of us to empower it. Allowing more regions to be inspired. So by dividing, there are more chance for all of us able to reach the President of the United States. It is allowing us to reach to our local mayors, allowing us to reach to our local governor, the congressman, to basically, so that we'll be able to reach to the President of the United States. That's the vision, that is the idea of dividing into 5 sub-regions. Okay. So, what is the Vision 2020? I'm sure you'll wonder, what is this Vision 2020? What is that all about? Well, beautiful picture of the Father and the Mother Moon. Here they are praying. I don't know, perhaps that was 30-some years ago. They're praying every day. They pray incessantly, constantly praying for what? America to receive. America to receive. Okay, let me just kind of share with you, what is the purpose of history? From the principal perspective, what is the purpose of history? To receive Messiah. 2,000 years ago, history means his story. Whose story? It's God's story. History. Purpose of history is that God has been preparing the Roman Empire to receive the Jesus Christ. Roman Empire. What's the purpose of Colosseum?
The persecution of the Christians by Nero.
That's that's the unfortunate result. Unfortunate that the chosen people were not able to unite together. Unite together with Christ. What happened? Christian persecution. That place was used for the persecution of Christianity and many other reasons. However, that place was supposed to receive, to hear, to listen to the public speech of Jesus. Jesus is supposed to speak. God prepared the Colosseum so he can speak to not only for the Roman Empire, but the entire world, because every world connects to the Rome. All the roads connects to the Rome. People from all over the world coming to listen to the preacher or rabbi, Christ, Jesus. Now he speaks it. That was the building was for. But what about today? We're all looking for the Lord's second comings. What is it for our country? What is our nation? What is our histories for? Purposes to what?
Show you the Lord of the second advent.
Right. For you and I, not only you and I to meet with the Lord's second coming, however, a town to meet the Lord's second coming, not only a city to meet with the Lord's second coming, but an entire nation. A country, a nation meets with the Lord's second coming. And by the way, America is prepared. This country has been prepared by God to accept the Lord's second coming. Right? Here it is. By the way, Puritan arrived in a settlement, Plymouth, back in 1620. So, what happened? 2020 is what? The anniversary of arrival of a Puritan, seeks for religious freedom in exactly how many years? 400 years. 400 years since the arrival. There were many people right before that, but I'm talking about people who seek the religious freedom, who are Christ-centered people, looking for the Messiah, looking for the Lord, looking for God, seeking God for direction. They arrived in the United States, and it's been a 400 years since. Here it is, the original 13 families arrived in the Germantown in 1683, seeks the original, they were seeking for religious freedom. They were persecuted in Germany. So William Penn invited them over to Germantown, where we're here today. Carol Johnson, who came last Sunday, she lives right next to the graveyard of original 13 families. It's amazing, isn't it? So here it is, the first German settlers who landed in America, tricentennial, that was 1983. So here it is, they're all here for what? They're waiting to receive, to accept the Lord's second coming. That's why they were here for, and Christianity was here for, and America is purpose to receive. Here it is. I don't know if some people seen it, some people haven't seen this yet, but this is the what? Right? We call it, in our tradition, Korean tradition, call it Songwa. Songwa ceremony means, in other words, memorial or funeral of the Reverend Moon, who passed away in 2012. You see all these beautiful flowers here? All right? Here is the Mother Moon. She's sitting right here. Okay. All right. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, wonderful. Beautiful. Yes. What about this? What about this one? Right, we have a Bush here, Chris Bush. Are you related to Bush family? But suddenly, Chris Bush, I thought he looks like a George Bush. And, I believe we have a really, you didn't go to the funeral? You didn't go to the funeral?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I see. Well, you're absolutely welcome. It's like, why these presidents are here? They're president of the United States, aren't they? Former and current president. So why are they here? Well, they're here because this event is a national level event. This is a national level where a president sits. George Bush Sr. Memorial, a funeral service was a national event at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. That's why. That's why. What about this? This is a solemn ceremony or funeral ceremony of the Reverend Moon, Father Moon. There were over 50, 60, 70,000 people from around the world that participated. Could be more. I mean, more. Many members, many of our family members, to our friends, to a local, maybe perhaps, long-time friends and everybody, many people came to show their respect. Because the funeral service is one of the most important ceremony of our life. Everybody, no matter what, like to visit, to come to the funeral and show their respect. And who are these people? Remember all the cadets that carrying President Bush casket? You know who are they?
High-ranking military officers.
Exactly, high-ranking military officers. What about this? They're not the part of a Korean national armed services. They're not the high-ranking officers serving the Korean army. They were basically young adult leaders within a ministry of Unification Church in Korea. What's the difference between President Bush service, funeral, and this funeral? There were no recognitions or no representation from our heads of state, current heads of states of different nations in the world presented this time. You know what Father Moon has invested to this country over 35 years? He invested so much, along with True Mother Moon. Invested over 30-some years, or 40 years of investment. And Africa, and South America, and Europe, and around the world, Far East Asia. They have invested so much, however, there were not even one national heads of state, current heads of state, participated at the funeral. Where people were showing their respect. Even bit of a feelings that at least I had to go. There weren't nobody. There were many people, but why she's crying? Why our Mother Moon crying? There are many reasons, perhaps maybe she never told us why. Perhaps maybe she has some struggle within her own family. So of course, losing her husband is devastating. But about what's upcoming future after funeral, that she had to take on all the weights on her shoulder, maybe? Or maybe perhaps just a made sophisticated organization of the entire funeral service that she don't know, it's it's just too stressful. That's why she's crying. I believe she's crying because, I never asked her, nobody asked her why. I believe it is because there weren't anyone, no national head of states, current, ever attended to this particular funeral service to show their respect. People gave so much, he gave so much, but there was nothing in return. That's why Mother Moon decided that in her, there was a deep conviction inside of her. I will bring about a national restoration by 2020. National restoration means that even at least one head of a state, current, serving as a head of state, will come to one of the events, uniting completely with her to bring about the national and global restoration. Bring about the kingdom of heaven on the earth. Why 2020? It is because of an exactly 2020 on the true parents' birthday. It's going to be a 100th years of a birthday celebration. 100 years of a true parents' birthday celebration. Since the 2012 of the summer ceremony, all the way up to 2019, has been more like an dress rehearsal. When you ever attend the events in Chongpyeong, Damien himself, our national president, he had a chance to walk on the stage. He walked on the stage, he saw all this nice setup. Like if you go to a Broadway musical show, you see beautiful setup. You see sets on the stage, but all made out of what? Paper, or very fragile material. He walks, there were beautiful cones all around on the stage, beautifully painted, but it's all made out of paper. If the people really understand the value of the Father and the Mrs. Mother Moon, who are they? Who they are? The Korean national government definitely would invest in so much investment into this, each one of the event. Or the world, or America, wanted to invest so much. That's all the sets on the stage were made out of what? Door can be made out of gold. Could be instead of corn, instead of made out of paper, it should be made out of real marble, stone. But it has been dress rehearsal. We kind of look from behind many times with the eyes of critiques. Why the translation is so bad? It's like, sometimes Japanese and translations are better, or you kind of switch back to Japanese translation, or Spanish translation a little more exciting, but here English translation many times. What? I couldn't understand what the translator was talking about. I didn't get it. What about the music? Off the tune. What about this one? What? It's supposed to be entertaining, but man, we're out of tune. Why you would have to pick this person to sing from the first place? We sort of like sit back and kind of observe and criticize with eyes of critique to see everything, how bad, how they're not too perfect, but a little bit imperfect. Well, because it is organized within her church. If the world prepares it, they will pick the best singers, best musician, best translator. Why not? It's been 2019 we had a last summit event called the Summit 2019 in Korea by our ministry, by Mother Moon, galvanized, gathered together. There were 20 panel speakers and about 1,500 former heads of states, or perhaps current, but not heads of states, but people who are placed in important positions in religion, government, and perhaps the social and many other sectors in the society. Business participated in this event. We have Don Burton from a longtime congressman, former congressman from Indiana. And we have Nick Gingrich that he spoke. Former, not a current, Speaker of the State.
Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House. Vice President Dick Cheney. Now, he's become very popular through the movie today called Vice. I haven't seen it, but anyway, he spoke. They're all talking about the peaceful reunification of South Korea. The title of this conference was the Peace, Security, and Human Development in a global level. And of course, the keynote speaker was the Mother Moon. 2019, just finished that whole event. We're now aiming towards the next, less than a year to go to 2020. She never really have time. Wish there more time. Wish that someone could really unite with her, work together with her, collaborate together, heart to heart. Heart to heart. My heart with heaven, God, and heart with somebody on the earth. As the central person of today, I believe this lady right here, who has that key to unlock, it brings the God's love and Spirit of God flowing everywhere. Thinking of 6.7 billion people today, she is. How could it bring about global restoration, peace, global peace, environment, war, conflict, starvation? There's a domestic violence and everything that we don't know how to resolve this problem. But the first nation has to be restored. Security told Damien, or one security said it there, she had to change her clothes 5 times because of prayer. She praying for sweating out that she had to change her clothes 5 times. Have you ever prayed that you had to change your clothes 5 times? If you're praying all night, all day, sometimes you have to change your clothes 5 times a day. I never pray that much because I'm not really the person of prayer. But if I want to pray until the sweat and blood is pouring out of your forehead, then you may have to change your clothes 5 times. Bring it down to how many hours to 2020 of February of next year. 342 now, not the 365 days. 342 days, 24 hours, 8,208 hours. Down to cut down the sleeping time to 8 hours. 342 times the 16 hours, 5,472. Cut down food, eating 2 hours. We usually eat, United States about 2 hours, or less than 2 hours. In Europe, 4 hours, I don't know, 3-4 hours, Europe. But America, 2 hours maybe. Lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, cut down 2 hours and 4,788 hours now. But cut down 8 hours of our working time. We work 8 hours or more or less. Then down to 6 hours every single day, 2,052. But within the 6 hours, what we do? Gotta go to the doctor, I gotta go to the dentist, I gotta go to my primary doctor, I have to go to do my shopping and do all that. What's a priority in our life, by the way? Okay, within 6 hours. That's 2,052 hours. And of course, the Damien says about 3 hours, but I said pray around 3 to 6 hours we have every single day. So 2,052 hours until the next year around this time. Right, so what is the Shimada strategy for the national restoration? Is this 3 different aspects. It's the first one, witnessing. The next one is witnessing environment, building a witnessing environment, and of course youth. Youth is important. Youth within a ministry is so important. Now the witnessing, or WWFP, the Family Federation for World Peace, are responsible for central of all activities, but especially towards witnessing. What about American Clergy Leadership Conference, Universal Peace Federation, Women Federation for World Peace are responsible for building a witnessing environment. And of course, CARP, Young Adult Ministry, Youth Ministry, are responsible for raising young people today for what? The future leadership of our ministry. But not only that, we need, America needs, Philadelphia needs moral leadership of tomorrow. We need a young moral leadership of tomorrow, young professional, serving every sector of society. Naomi-san, Are you, what is that? You are the coordinator, project manager of a company providing information to Board of Education in different parts of the city of Philadelphia. Naomi-san is the coordinator, project coordinator of providing some of the critical information to the Board of Education, such as Washington, D.C., such as other part of the United States. She is the person who can influence the education of America for tomorrow and today. Right here, one person, right here. We need moral character, leadership, men and women, integrity. We're leading our country. It means that we'll begin to work in together with the youth ministry, young adult ministry, other ministry all around Philadelphia or here in Germantown. We are searching, looking for such a righteous young people that who can stand up, who can really able to lead this society today. We need it today, young people, young adults today, a youth for tomorrow. I'm sorry, if I can just focus these two circles here, here it is. I can break it down to what the Family Federation. Now, within the ministry, who is a core? Core is the heavenly tribal messiahs. Each one of us are truly God anointed each one of us. That we can be the Messiah, a Messiah in your community. Messiah means in Hebrew language, anointed one. If you are anointed in your community, you can be the Messiah in your community, in your city, or in your wherever it is, or state, perhaps. So, Heavenly Tribe Messiah become the central role in the ministry itself and working closely together with ACLC, American Clergy Leadership, to our elders, deacons, to our members, which actually the majority of the population in America today, in this city of Philadelphia, in Germantown, of course, there are religions, Buddhist, Muslim, which I work with, many of our friends from Islamic society, Islamic community in my company today. There are many representation of different religions, but here in America, still the majority of people are Christians. Now in Germantown as well. So working together closely with the Christian leadership are very important, and so is the other part of our society as well. Okay, so then, if I can just break it down I'd like to say Minister Eddie, right? Minister Eddie and Sister Alice, there's a couple here as a Heavenly Tribal Messiah. For example, they have served as a missionary in Paraguay for how many years? 6 years. Please give a hand for. They are willing to leave everything. They've been down in Paraguay as a missionary for 6 years. Amazing. And whatever we do, continued Heavenly Tribe Messiahs, if we have a 430 couples, I should say singles and couples. There were amazing singles today. There were amazing people. Couples. There was some influence, people who can influence our communities. We have amazing people here today. When Jeanette and I walk into Jeanette introduced me to a birthday celebration. That was a birthday celebration of what? Rep. Kinsey? Representative Kinsey? Right? That was his event that when she walks in, it's very exciting because she was just going to talk to everyone at the birthday celebration with all the political people, the state representatives, state senators, to congressmen, to local leaders, to hi, hello, how you doing? Hi, and here's that picture, and hey, this is Shona, my pastor, and hi, hello, hi, I'm Pastor Shona, and she just walks up to everybody, talking to everybody, and that's like amazing. She knows everybody. Ginger, she has a big circle of following on the poetry circles and many other events, the mystery schools that she has. Each one of us, we have a business owner, the nail salon business, and she has 2 of them. Yes, on. We have a dry cleaning. Here the business owners right here. 3 businesses. We have many of our big people. We have a manager of the multi-million-dollar companies right there. Over there, Mr. Tony Morrow out there, and his company distributes about 99% of Japanese restaurant, all the seafood. If you see that truck, the Chuo food truck running around, he's a manager of the company. Okay, so we have something really. Oh my goodness! Here we have Kevin. Kevin, he's quoted as the #1 Italian chef in New Jersey. Right? We're going to 4, top 10. Please go to 101. Ita 101. Now he studied to become a chef in Italy for 10 years. He brought authentic Italian food to America. So 430 people. If you have a 430 couple or singles, then we have a lot of voices. You see. Now we can be able to connect with the churches, we can become a voice, a community of voice here in Germantown, perhaps in Philadelphia, all right? Okay, what about Minister Bush and Mario got together, spreading around, reaching out to the 430 couples or 430 singles and the couples and the families there. Behind the couples and singles there, whole other circle of friends and relatives and now, becoming the voice that you are able to possibly reach the Mayor Kenny. Maybe not the Mayor Kenny, perhaps, maybe, but what about the city council members? All right? We have asked a question. Okay, Mother, to ask the 2 directions, by the way. Liberate your ancestors in 430. Fulfill tribal messiahship for 430. Interesting. My wife's mother, my grandmother, my mom, my mother-in-law, my wife's mother. You know the earthquake in Japan?
The 311 earthquake?
Yeah, the earthquake in Japan was recently, about 1 year ago. Yeah, 1 year ago, earthquake in Sapporo, Hokkaido. I don't know if you heard about that. Magnitude 7. Many houses collapsed. Well, the house, not collapsed, but wall fall off. That's my wife's mother's house. For many months, we didn't know what to do, how to fix it. Wall fall off, it cost so much money. She lives alone. We've been discussing how we're able to come up with the money to fix it. We've been praying about it. And suddenly there's one wonderful gentleman, contractor, young man, just came to meet with my wife's mother. He says, I want to fix your wall in minimum cost because I couldn't do it to my mother. I want to do it to you. I want to do my favor. I have many appointments, but you are the priority. I'm going to fix it. That was like in November, right before all the snow started falling in Hokkaido, Sapporo, the coldest part of Japan. He says, I'm going to do it at a minimum cost. And my grandmother, my mother and mother-in-law began to talk about me. Oh yeah, by the way, my wife, my daughter married to Shota Iwasaki. Oh, Iwasaki-san. Oh, wait a minute, Iwasaki. I know Iwasaki. There are many Iwasaki, like I know Smith. My name is John Smith. Oh, I know Smith. There are so many Smiths. Oh yeah, I'm sure you know Smith in your neighborhood, all right? No, I know Smith I know Iwasaki from Osaka, which is like traveling by airplane. It takes about 3 hours. It's far away from Sapporo, way far away. But he used to live there. Osaka is the second largest city. Oh yeah, there are many Smiths. 10,000 Smiths in Osaka. But he says, I know Iwasaki. What? Do you know? Oh yeah, I know Iwasaki, and I know him well. I know his sons. I know his father. Mr. Iwasaki, I know him well. Wait a minute. He passed away. My father passed away long ago. Thing is, I believe my father came to visit, brought this young person, helped to fix the house. By the way, my father showed up in my wife's mother's dream as well. And I'm sort of bowing. This is, because they never met before. My father passed away a long time ago. But they kind of bowed. Here I am. I am Mr. Iwasaki. Nice meeting with you. Veneration of ancestors? Incredible. Think about the original 13 families of our founding fathers of Germantown. Call their names. They are here to want to help us, to make this nation a better place. By the way, how can a few people make a big impact? How can a few people can make a big impact? Just only me. How can I make it? How can I reach the mayor? How can I reach the governor? I mean, we talk about President of the United States. How? How possible? Well, what does it take for an idea to spread from one to many, for a minority opinion to become a majority belief? According to a few studies by scientists at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, the answer is 10%. Once 10% of the population is committed to an idea, it is inevitable that it will eventually become the prevailing opinions of the entire group. The key is to remain committed. According to the study, this 10% of people committed to an idea, 90% of people has clear ideas, but 90% of people with many ideas, different ideas. But 10% of people with a committed idea will become the prevailing thoughts and idea of the entire population, according to the science. Question is, how many people do we have in our community? Anybody got the answer to that question? Well,
Should we say Germantown?
right, exactly. So first of all, right, let's say our community within a ministry, probably Pennsylvania and Delaware, 200 people, 10% is 20 people. If 20 people committed to the idea, yes, perhaps the inevitable to the change the entire thoughts and idea of here, this community will prevail, become the prevailing idea. However, you said Germantown.
The population of Germantown is about 42,000.
Okay, well, let's take a look. What is that community? First of all, Philadelphia.
Oh, 1.5.
1.5 million people, or 10% as well. 150,000?
150,000.
If the 150,000 people committed to an idea, become a prevailing thought. That's a little bit hard. That's kind of hard, but possible today because of today's social network. All right, but let's take a look. Mayor has all the council men and women. Now, 70 city council members, 7 are serving as a council at large, serving the city of Philadelphia. But the 10 other council men and women are serving, appointed to each district. We have 10 districts in Philadelphia. District number 8, that's where we sit, right here, and Councilwoman Cindy Bass. She is an appointed person for the city, for the mayor. It means that immediately she was like a mayor of the city, of Germantown, sort of like. She was appointed by the mayor, or appointed by the people, to serve this district number 8. And Germantown is part of district number 8. So, question is the 44,000. I kind of looked at it also. That was actually 66,000. Maybe 42 is better.
Well, I just Googled it.
Oh, that's 66,915. So 10% is what?
6,090.
Right, sorry. Right, exactly. 6,692 people. So how many travel messiahs are able to reach the 6,600 people? It's between 8 to 15, because if each one of the 6,600, the couple, then we need an 8. But if they're single or singles, then 15. So between 8 to 15 child messiahs are able to reach 430 couples, or singles and couples, then we're able to perhaps become the majority of voice. Whatever it is, an idea we have, that becomes the prevailing voice of a Germantown. The direction from the Mother Woman is to fulfill child messiahship. We become the Messiah. We're really reaching out to really take care and love our communities and reaching out and embrace the Christianity. And then perhaps we're able to speak to the mayors and speak to the governors and perhaps we're able to reach the President of the United States. But time is by 2020. Well, how can it do it? I don't know. I don't have any idea. I don't have any power. And that will be, and a miracle will happen. John the Baptist will come to you. People that we've been serving. In Germantown right now, I am planning to attend this community meeting next Thursday. So I cannot make it to the Thinking Thursday because Joe Butts, who organized it, the Man's Care for Germantown, who we support their activity through the jazz event. We raise money to support local nonprofit organizations like Speak, like Man Cares for the Germantown. They invest their energy and time at the Roosevelt High School almost every day, mentoring the children. They themselves actually create a basketball league or team. They invested money into the team to raise up the young people through the athletic sports like basketball, because Roosevelt High School recently basically we cannot no more afford the basketball team or music class, no more at the Roosevelt High School. So he and his people volunteered to take care of some of the young people. He created a team. They created a basketball team out of Roosevelt High School. Now he called me recently because we have our church is intricate and we're really able to have a good relationship. He called our church. You know, next week and Thursday we're going to have a very serious discussion about what we're going to do, the property of a Germantown High School. They submitted the proposal to create a vocational school to raise up young people who are within the Germantown. Many of our young people, they can be trained how to fix electricity, plumbing, and all kinds of hands-on skills for the vocational school. Trained so that they can come back to Germantown and they can produce their own income and they can be able to pay the tax to the government. I mean, that's better than building a dollar shop or other supermarket or dollar shop at that property. Because building a dollar shop means that the profit goes right to the company, right? Dollar Tree or other supermarket. However, if we invested our time and energy into people, then people will multiply and it's all coming back to our city of Germantown. We're talking about by constantly connecting, be ourselves out there with the people, you will begin to hear the needs of a Germantown. People begin to calling you. You know what? Hey man, Kevin. Hey Kevin. Hey, Mr. Reverend Kim. Hey, Sukon. Hey, Mrs. You know, hey. Here's the Jeanette right here. Hey, Jeanette. I mean, you get called a lot of times, I'm sure. But well, can you join us? Hey, Family Church of Philadelphia. He called Family Church of Philadelphia. Can you guys join me on the evening of 6 o'clock at the church next to Germantown to really push, introducing idea is to encouraging people move forward with the idea of building vocational school. There are many other ideas, but personally, I feel that was such an important thing that we can do for the Germantown. It's just my personal opinion. Perhaps maybe building dollar shop may be better. I don't know. But for me, building a school, night school, or vocational schools are better. So thank you. Everyone, once again, we're going to have, for presentation finished now, but I'd like to invite up Sukwan, if you'd like to maybe, she's one of our, what we call the Heavenly Tribe Messiah. And she had down 430. And she's been reaching out to so many people, churches, to communities, and nursing homes, to everywhere. So maybe if she'd like to share something, through her experience, maybe we can learn something great.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
First of all, we'd like to honor Reverend Chota, what he tried to do, and try to support us to accomplish what True Mother would like us to do. I would like to share, if you read the page 8 of them, all of them start with as the owner of Chill in Cook and end with centering on true love. If you read all those pages and you digest it and pray about it, the tribal Messiah, the reaching out to the people is that we will experience the true love of God and true love of true parents. And those number is just a number, but the inner aspect of our life to experience the love of God, the love of true parents is the most significant thing to accomplish all those. And this true love is not just Unification Church, it's a universal, essential of life of everybody. And if we understand that point, we can start doing what True Mother asked us to do. And for me, I have been reaching out to the minister for 2 to 10 years. So they have been attend to parents, 3 of them attend to parent blessing, and they allow us to go to bless at that church so many times. Many times I don't have the name, but anyhow, so that is one, but that is taking time. The second one is very simple and easy, is Reverend Chota will set up the table during the summertime, and if you are there, one day you can reach out to about 20 people, and with the determination, with the heart, people will come to share with you about their life. And that is amazing. Like Janet here, met by Chris, and Minister Virgil, he sat there, I don't know where he is now. Yeah, he was here, so he was met from the table there. And then at the table, you can really reach out to the people quickly. But the importance of it is have to try to follow up to build relationship of give and take with the people. And without that, there's no meaning for that number. And if this summertime, when the weather is nice, if you really would like to participate, when Reverend Chota set up the table, and to do it is the more people, the better. And I volunteer to help as when we set up the table. And then, another one that I do is go to the senior center. The senior center is very interesting. There's one here on Germantown Avenue. I go there from time to time, and the one in northeast, Louis Perlman go there too. I bless about 30 people there. It's quite simple. The senior, you think that they are old, but when you really get in touch with them, they have a lot of spunk. They shared their life experience, and some of them